Thanks for tuning in to another episode of R&R. Rena, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I cannot complain. Doing good.
So you just got a puppy, and that's literally all I want to talk about.
I did just get another puppy.
Tell us all about the puppy. Show us pictures of the puppy.
I will
Tell the puppy we love her.
I will send you photos of the puppy because you have to throw a picture of the puppy up on this. This will be my fourth puppy. It's a rescued pug from Laredo, Texas. Her and her mother were picked up at a gas station by a good Samaritan who took them to the vet and paid out of pocket a large amount of money to get them for their intake and some stuff they needed. No idea how old she is, how long they've been on the streets. They estimate her anywhere from 9 to 18 months, possibly. She's really small, underdeveloped puppy. She's adorable, though. I've had her for 2 weeks today, and you would think she's lived there her whole life. Like, she is acclimated right in. Her name is Marley. She has taken up with Kimber. They are like best buds now. They play all the time, which has really been good for Winnie because now Kimber's giving her a break. So, but anyway. Yeah, that's my new puppy. I'll send Sean some photos and he can throw them up on this.
So why is the puppy not here? Why is?
I think maybe you missed the part where she's a puppy.
I just feel like the puppy should be here.
I wish she was. She would literally be into everything you see here, and it would become the Marley B show.
That's fine.
R&R, we'd be out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Actually, I agree.
She can be in charge. That's fine.
Agreed.
We can go home.
I'm in charge.
I will have to.
Marley's in charge.
I will have to see if one of or all of my puppies can make a cameo someday. Maybe one of these
excited.
Maybe one of my episodes will be all about.
Just tell us about your dogs.
Well, I have 4 pugs and 3 of them are rescues. I am a big do that. Rescue dogs, they're great. You know, they're very appreciative. So that's my life. Though.
Okay.
Yeah. And you? What are you up to?
I have been diligently researching this episode, which I'm very excited about.
I am cautiously optimistic on what you're bringing to the table.
I'm so excited, and I'm
hoping I don't regret passing the.
Absolutely terrified, because today I'm going to tell you all about the life and lore of Taylor Swift.
Tay-Tay!
You good? Man,
Sorry, I like Tay-Tay.
Would you like to trade spots?
You
because
need to do this?
No.
I can run camera.
My Tay-Tay knowledge is very limited. If I didn't have a teenage daughter, I probably wouldn't know anything about her. But I do have a teenage daughter who's a Swiftie. Is that the term? Yeah.
That is the term.
Yeah. She begged me to get her tickets last year, whatever.
And did you?
I wanted to until I seen the price tag. And I said, no.
Yeah.
No, honey, Daddy loves you, but he don't love you that much. That's $1,800, I think it was at the time. Yeah, the ones she showed me. Yes.
For one ticket.
I believe it was one. It may have been for the pair. Either way, I wasn't doing it.
Either way.
Wasn't doing it.
Gosh.
I wished I could have it.
Yeah.
Just because, it's one of the moments once in a lifetime things, but yeah.
Yeah.
So instead I bought 2 more dogs.
Okay.
For way less than $1,800, by the way. Yeah. Taylor Swift.
All right. So, Taylor Swift, are you ready for it?
I am as ready as I will possibly be.
See, the thing is, now I'm going to make song references, and you're not going to know what I'm talking about.
My daughter listens to a lot. I hear a lot. I may not know the titles or what, but I may recognize some.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that. Probably will not offer a lot to this episode, so I'm just going to sit here and listen.
Okay, just look amazed. That's your job. Just make me look good. So Taylor Allison Swift was born on December the 13th, 1989 in Pennsylvania. Not Nashville, Pennsylvania.
Did not know that.
Her father was a stockbroker and her mother was a marketing executive. And she grew up on a Christmas tree farm.
Okay. Good.
She started singing and performing at a very early. She started singing and performing at a very early age, but she didn't start learning to play the guitar until 12, which is also when she wrote her very first song.
Okay.
Her and her mother started traveling back and forth to Nashville to start trying to meet people and get signed and perform. And she ended up getting an artist development deal with RCA at the age of 13, and her family then relocated to Tennessee. little bit north of Nashville, Hendersonville area, which I lived up there, and you helped me move into that apartment that one time.
I don't
No,
want
out of that apartment.
I don't want to think about that. So what happened to the Christmas tree farm? Oh my goodness.
I don't know what happened to the Christmas tree farm.
Probably in Hallmark movies.
In 2005, by the age of 15, Swift was performing at the Bluebird Cafe when she was quote-unquote discovered by Scott Borchetta, who was in the process of forming an independent record label. He really wanted to sign her, but she was in RCA's artist development program, and they weren't going to let her put out a debut album until she had turned 18. But Scott Borchetta was like, I'll debut you right now under his new label, Big Machine Records, so she ended up leaving RCA to go to this totally brand new company so that she could debut before she turned 18. Which is a crazy thing to think about, because that would have been...
That's a risky
that's
move.
Risky.
I mean, RCA, they're established. They're
They know
known.
what they're doing.
Like, yeah. But yeah, that's also a lot of time to wait.
Yeah.
Gutsy move.
Like, I definitely see the value in, like, you know, be 18, be an adult.
Yeah.
But when you're, 15 and chasing your dreams,
Yeah.
that feels like forever.
I'm anxious to see if this pays off for her. Joking.
So in 2006, when she was 16, her self-titled debut album was released. She was involved in writing every track on the album, which made her, again at the age of 16, the first female country music artist to write or co-write every track on a US platinum certified debut album.
Wow.
Because yes, her first album went platinum. And looking back on it, people, I mean, it was a totally undiscovered market.
Yeah.
She was a 16-year-old writing for 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they found out that there was a whole slew of teenage girls who were really into country music.
Yeah.
And there was no one writing for them.
Yeah.
So that was hugely successful. And she won a bunch of awards for that one. 2 years later, when she's 18, is when she's releasing her second album, Fearless, which was even more successful. And it debuted at #1 in the US. It was multi-platinum in multiple countries, and it made her the youngest artist in history to have the year's best-selling album, which is a record that still stands.
Oh, wow.
And it again racked up a ton of awards.
Yeah.
That's the theme here, is every single one of these albums has just won a ridiculous amount of awards. So that's the album that starts getting us into a little bit more of the drama that circulated around Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Because you might remember this, in 2009, her music video for the single from that album, You Belong With Me, was nominated for Best Female Video at the VMAs that year, and she won.
Okay.
And this was the infamous her acceptance speech was interrupted by Kanye West.
Yes. Okay. I didn't. As you started talking, I was like, okay, I know where she's going with this. Yeah, because everybody
Which
knew that.
launched this feud that's been going on ever since then.
Is that still a thing
This is
today?
still active. It's still kind of actively going on, because then
I hadn't heard anything about that in a long time, so I didn't know.
yeah, it's. We'll get into it.
Yeah, okay.
I think. So yeah, he got on stage, interrupted. Remember, she's 19 when this happens, and Kanye West is 32.
Yeah.
He takes the microphone and the famous "I'm gonna let you finish" moment, and says that Beyonce should have won. Beyonce had the greatest video of the year. The irony is, Beyonce was nominated for Best Video and won Best Video for Single Ladies at the same awards ceremony.
Okay.
So, and then Beyonce very, very graciously gave her the mic to Taylor Swift to let her finish her speech, which was very sweet.
Yes.
For absolutely unhinged behavior.
Yes.
There's a lot of speculation about what happens next and how that ties into the John Mayer storyline. Because somewhere just after this is when she and John Mayer started being romantically linked.
Okay.
And it wasn't for very long, but he was like 12 years older than her while they were dating.
Okay.
And a lot of songs on her next album, Speak Now, released in 2010, were about that relationship, including Dear John, which he did not take well. Said that was incredibly unfair. He was like tweeting really snarky things. And I'm like, bro, you're in your 30s. What did you think was going to happen when you were dating a teenager?
Yeah.
What did you think? How did you feel like that was going to go down? Speak Now is still considered a country album, but then her next album, released in 2012, is Red, and that's when we start seeing her kind of deviate from country music to pop. So the album is still classified as country, but it's about half and half. If you listen to it, like half the songs are pop and half the songs are country. So that was a very awards-wise underperforming, because people said it kind of had a split personality.
Yeah.
It wasn't cohesive. I heard the phrase sonically cohesive thrown around, which fancy.
Yeah. Over my head.
And that's when she decides that she's going to make the jump from country to pop. And that's what she does with her next album, because she's just cranking them out. In 2014, when she's 24 years old, her fourth album. Wow. Is that right?
Sounds right.
Fifth.
Yeah.
Jeez. Her fifth album at the age of
24.
24.
Wow.
1989. She went against her label, who wanted her to stay. She's still with Big Machine Records at the time.
Okay.
She went against them, who pushed her to stay in country, and she said no matter what she was doing, she was going to go to pop. For that album, she was the first woman to win Album of the Year twice, and her world tour for that one was the highest grossing tour of 2015.
Impressive.
So little preview of what was to come.
Yeah.
She also leveraged that album in 2015 because Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming platforms weren't really fairly compensating artists. There's still a lot to be said about that today, but she threatened to pull her music until they were fairly compensating, especially for like trial periods and stuff. So that's when she really starts advocating for other people in the industry.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now in 2016 is where Kanye West comes back into the story.
Oh, boy. So 4 years? Yeah, 4 years later?
Yeah. So in April 2016, Kanye West releases his single Famous, in which he references Taylor Swift in the song saying, "I made that bitch famous." And Taylor Swift did not take it well. She claimed that she did not consent to the lyric.
Shocked by that.
And then Kanye West came back and said, "No, you did." And then Kim Kardashian, who was married to Kanye West at the time, released a video of them allegedly on a phone call with her voice saying that this was fine. And there's been a lot of criticism of this about, whether or not it's legal. Can you do that? It's a private phone call. But then there's also a lot of speculation as to, was it a voice double? Was it really real? I don't think it's ever really been confirmed as far as I know.
I assume there's footage of her out there somewhere in the universe saying it's fine. You could record it and dub it. I don't know. There's so much that you can do. Like, we both just said it. Someone could use our words against us someday.
Yeah, I mean,
fine.
it got really convoluted and complicated. Everyone had an opinion on this at the time, and that's when a big move started to happen to effectively cancel Taylor Swift. The internet media turned on her. Everyone was saying that she was overrated, that she was playing the victim, like all this stuff and was happening, and she became very unpopular at this time. She became a very like love to hate her kind of celebrity, and she sort of disappeared from the limelight a little bit at this point. This is when she gets like up to this point, up to the 1989 era, had been very like communicative with fans, very, very open, very involved. She was like hosting fan parties like leading up to the release of that album, and after that she kind of shut down, really started separating herself from
all that.
During all this time, one time that she made it back into the headlines was in 2017. She countersued David Mueller for $1, who was a former radio jockey for KYGO-FM, who had sued her for damages from loss of employment. What happened was, in 2013, when she was 23, during a photo op, he groped her under her skirt. So she called, they reported it, and he was let go. So he sued for loss of employment. So she countersued for $1, saying, no, like what you did was not okay.
Yeah.
So, but that, means that she had to go to court and she had to fight that battle.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was really cool. I thought that was a really cool move because that was also like kind of where the tides were sort of turning in Hollywood too, of like the Me Too movement and stuff, where women were standing up and being like, hey, this happened to me and this isn't okay. So I was really appreciated that she stood her ground on that. Yeah, not really relevant to the rest of her story, but no one talks about it anymore.
I like the fact that it's for $1.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly it's not about
it's the principle.
Money. Yeah,
So later that year in 2017 is when she really comes back into the scene.
Okay.
She goes dark on social media, deletes everything. One of the things that happened when she got canceled was Kim Kardashian was tweeting calling her a snake. So when she starts reposting again, she's posting pictures of snakes. Which is how she teased her Reputation album, which was a very different vibe than anything else she had done so far. It was kind of darker, edgier, it had a lot of synth pop. It was a very, very different vibe. And Reputation became Swift's 4th consecutive album to sell 1 million copies in the first week. And again, became the highest grossing North American tour of all time. So when she came back, she came back.
Yeah.
That was also her last album with Big Machine Records. And in 2018, at the age of 28, she released her next album called Lover, which is her first album with Universal Music Group. Okay. And after this, Big Machine Records sold the rights to Taylor Swift's first 6 albums to someone named Scooter Braun, which when they made that sale, that included all of the masters. Swift had been trying to buy her own masters and the rights to her own songs so that she can control that. So she was really angry when this happened because she had a weird history with Scooter Braun. There's alleged that he was kind of bullying her. He was also involved with Kayne West. So it was messy, and it just was such a rude.
Yeah.
Just rude.
Yeah.
So what happened? It's confusing because the way they were sold, he owns the masters, but Taylor Swift owns the music.
Okay.
So he owns the recording. So what you listen to on like Spotify and stuff. So he's collecting money from that. She's not getting anything. It's not really about the money. It's again a principle thing, but it's like she doesn't have control over her own work as an artist.
Yeah.
When this happens, Kelly Clarkson is the one who suggested she just re-records all her own work and re-releases it. Which is, if you've seen recently the parentheses Taylor's version, that's what's happening. That's all the re-releases. She's re-releasing all of her albums.
Okay.
So you know that it's her recording, her like redone version if it has the Taylor's version.
Because of my daughter, I knew she was doing it. I just didn't know the why. I didn't know why. I assumed it was a money grab, kind of like, let me do this and make more money. I didn't know the backstory to it.
She's actually kind of like devaluing them in a way, because now the listens are spread out, so now it's not worth as much if you listen to it.
But that's
it's a little bit petty, and it's about the principle, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, and I to sidetrack you a little, I listen to a lot of podcasts and watch a lot of like late night talk show stuff. Kelly Clarkson has always been one of my favorite interview, like when she's on whatever, like she's great. Like I just love listening to her. She's just so cool and down to earth. So I love that she's the one that suggested this.
And people talk about it all the time because they're like, and Taylor Swift got the idea, but no one ever mentions the fact that Kelly Clarkson's kind of an important part of the story.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
Women supporting women. We love it. She released 2 albums in 2020.
Oh wow.
2.
Well, there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, so like she does talk about the pandemic and them about how she just kind of panicked and sat down and started writing a ton of music. These are when she kind of like starts combining the country roots of like storytelling with the pop versions.
Okay.
I think they were released about 6 months apart. They're a very like ethereal, folksy almost.
Okay.
It gets overwhelming. There's a lot of music in this. And then in 2022, she releases another album.
Wow, she's on a roll.
It's crazy.
Machine.
And then, remember at this point, she hasn't gone on tour since Reputation, I believe. So it's been a while since she's done a tour. So it becomes like, do I tour this one album? Do I tour something that goes like spans 4 albums?
Yeah.
And that's when they decided to do the Eras tour, which is all the albums.
Yeah.
Which now becomes like, you know, all these different points in her career and her age and like the years that they were written, and they all sound very different. They've all, like, she's rebranded herself so many times throughout the course of her career and with like within the albums. So now the big thing is what era do you identify with?
Yeah.
This during the Eras tour is when she really gets she's probably the most famous person in the world. Like she's really hard to escape now.
Can confirm.
So the Eras tour goes on all of 2023. It also kind of coincides with the end of a 6-year relationship that she's been in, which there's a lot of speculation that's a lot of what Midnights is about. And then we've talked about it a lot. Everyone's talked about it. She starts dating Travis Kelce. And gets involved.
Him.
Yeah, I don't know who he
Pretty
was.
good
I'm not gonna
player.
lie, I did not know who he was.
Yes.
I had never heard of this man before in my life.
That man helped me win a fantasy football championship a few years ago.
And my favorite part of that was the speculation of was it real? Was it a media stunt?
Yeah.
They've been dating a while now though, so.
Yes, good for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Now everyone's real mad because she shows up for 8 seconds during the Super Bowl or something.
No, she was there for a lot more. Like, I was guilty early on thinking it was a publicity stunt.
It had to start that way.
No,
There had to be PR people involved in this.
I mean, if not, then the PR people aren't doing their jobs.
Right.
Because they should have done this. But the more she was there, I'm a football fan. Like, to see her cheering and jumping, like, I mean, she's not faking it at this point. She's a fan of him, the team, whatever.
Yeah.
She's there. She's putting in the time. And
it's been going on a while, and like kind of the fun, I guess, side quest or side story of the whole thing is like the fathers and daughters who like were able to watch and enjoy football together for the first time. Like it's very wholesome.
She's responsible for one of the greatest moments of the NFL season this past season, and that is when Travis's brother Jason was in the booth with her, shirtless, pounding beers, and every time it cut to her, here's this big offensive lineman, shirtless, hairy-chested, chugging beers behind her. He jumps out of the booth down into the crowd, visiting crowd, by the way, and is holding little kids up to the booth so that they can wave at her and take pictures and stuff like that. And
That's so cute.
I'm like, it's a whole different excitement for the NFL. Like, there were little kids there because of Taylor. I mean, how can anyone hate that?
Like, the whole thing is like, it's supposed to be fun.
Yes, of
People are
course.
supposed to like get together and enjoy themselves. And
if you're the NFL, you're a business.
Yeah.
And you have the biggest star in the world. If we could book her for this, she would be right
we
here.
would cut to her the whole time.
I mean, we would be gone. You would allow it, right, Sean?
Yes, I would definitely allow it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, like, it's good business. You should.
Sean's on board, so
if you're listening,
call Taylor Swift.
if you're listening, if you're her publicist, and we don't have what the NFL offers. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we've got off track here. We do that from time to time.
Anyway, in the midst of all that, in the midst of re-releasing multiple albums, dating a football star, or whatever he is,
Future Hall of Famer.
some guy named Travis. She also finds time to release her 11th album. But it wasn't just, it was a double album.
Yeah.
It was 2 albums in one. There were like 32 songs on it.
Crap.
It's crazy.
That's almost a triple then. I'm sorry.
It's insane. Like, I can barely get out of bed most days. What is she doing?
Nope. No wonder I constantly hear her blasting from my daughter's bedroom. She has so much music. Yes.
It's insane. I don't like, and there's like stuff that she's written for other soundtracks, guest appearances she's made. Like, it never ends.
Yeah.
Like, she's like collabed with nearly everyone.
It doesn't show any signs of slowing down from what I can gather.
Which is it's impressive from a marketing standpoint. The things that she's done are just wild because there's so much speculation. Like, the songs are so vague and yet so personal. There's so much time. People go into such detail, like trying to figure out what song is about and what happened. Like, it's wild. But it's been really impressive, especially in a time when like you feel like a woman's creative career peaks and ends in their 20s, to see her like just keep finding new heights in her 30s.
Peak in her 20s, but she also started at like 11. So,
right.
That's a pretty good run.
It's been really, really fun to watch, and it's been, I mean, I sort of grew up with her. Like, I bought her first album when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It's been a fun journey to go on as a millennial woman. Just you go, Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Yeah, and now she is the first musical artist to become a billionaire just on music. And now I have an extremely important question for you to end on. What is your Taylor Swift era?
What is my Taylor Swift era? Me.
Yours.
Taylor Swift
yes,
era.
yours.
Well, there's so many that it could be. Okay, so I don't know. But according to my teenage daughter, who made me do a quiz, online quiz.
She got into it, okay.
Recently, I'm apparently 1989.
I knew it! I should have guessed. I knew it. That checks out.
I didn't even know the options, but when she said you're 1989, I'm like, that tracks because I love the 80s.
There's something very like happy and classic about it. I would have said 1989, or I would have said Fearless.
To be fair, the online quiz contained a lot of questions. I'm like, I don't know. See. It's like I don't know
Yeah.
any of these options. I'm just guessing, so I'm just gonna go see.
Sean, what's your era?
I would say the 1980. I would, if I had to guess, probably 89, 1989 as well.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I was obviously born in 86, so.
I don't know if that has. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. Like I said,
That's not what I asked you.
We talked about this before we started, though.
Yeah, what Taylor Swift era are you? What is the album and era? What is the
Well,
time that you
that's what I told
identify
you
with?
As we were talking,
I get Fearless vibes.
Fearless vibes.
Could be wrong.
I have to look it up.
I mean, you've
Okay.
you've done some stuff in the last few years that took some. Like, let's do it. Let's go.
And you said your favorite song was Love Story. That's Fearless.
Well, love story, and I knew you. If I had to choose one of you, I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
Okay, that's 1989, I think.
Yeah. See,
I think-
89 Fearless. I'm right there. I was Fearless in 1989. How about
There you
that?
go.
All right, and then we're gonna move on.
All right,
All right.
All right.
I'm done.
That was not as horrible as I
Yes.
expected it to be.
Well,
not
thank
your,
you.
Not your delivery. I just meant the topic. You know. Like,
Wow.
It was actually. I didn't know a lot of that. Obviously. So, good for her. Go Taylor.
All right. So we're gonna play higher or lower card game. Got 6 cards. Ronnie, you're going first.
Okay.
Each of you are going to get a chance.
Okay. So you're just going to turn over the first card.
And use it higher or lower.
Okay.
For everyone you get right, you're going to get a mark. At the end of each of your turns, whoever has the most wins the round.
I mean, is there any need to play?
What?
We know I'm going to win.
It's true. It's true. We don't have to play. It's
Undefeated,
just,
baby.
It's just embarrassing at
All
this
right,
point.
Ronnie,
Yes,
you're
sir.
first, and the first card is on the ground.
It's going to be higher than the ground. Yes.
Is it ace?
Is that ace count higher or low?
Ace is the highest card in the
Well,
game.
then I'm going to guess lower.
All right,
Well, some people play aces low.
sure. So obviously,
Ooh.
ding, 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 it's the 6.
Yeah.
Higher or lower than the 6?
This is my problem.
No, this is
Cool.
his.
Oh, it's still me?
Yeah, you can do one.
I thought we alternate. Okay, higher.
Higher. It's a 3.
Okay, higher.
Higher than the 3. It's an ace.
Lower.
It's a jack.
And lower.
It's a 6. So you have 4 points. 4 out of 6.
Oh God.
All right.
I don't want to.
Undefeated.
Can I just forfeit? Can I fold? I fold.
To me.
I fold.
Wrong game.
I'm all in.
Hit me.
At least you're still playing cards. All right. Rena, you're starting out with a 4.
Higher.
Structure higher.
This is rigged. This is rigged. This
Higher
is
or lower
not
than the 3?
fair. Higher.
The king. Higher or lower than the king?
My heart's beating so bad. Lower.
It is a 4.
Oh God.
Higher or lower
I'm
than the
gonna be
4?
sick. Higher.
You have to.
Two.
What are the odds?
This is so rigged.
I win again.
Higher or lower than the 2?
Higher.
It don't matter.
It is a 5. So
Oh my goodness.
you win, Ronnie, 4 to
This is
3.
Why does this keep happening? This is awful. This is so embarrassing.
You had 2 4s. I mean, if you'd have got to go first, I would have lost. Because, I mean, you're not going to pick lower than that. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm going to hit on 19, you know. But, the odds of that
Jeez.
were pretty good, apparently.
Ronnie is the winner.
Okay, so next
I am
episode is...
wild now.
Next episode is,
You don't want to win at all, have you?
No, that's what we're saying.
I believe I will hold the next episode for myself instead of passing.
Thank you for not making me do all the work 2 episodes in a row. I really appreciate how gracious you've been as a winner.
Well, not gonna lie, it's been nice, like passing it to you and not having to do so much research. So, but at the same time, you know,
The way this is set up, you could have me just telling you a story every
Every week,
single episode.
every
You have
episode.
to do no work.
just gonna bring a bowl of popcorn in here and time. Yeah.
All right. Give us the outro so we can get going out of this one.
Yeah, okay, well, John is trying to end all this craziness. So,
All right.
I guess
That's that.
goodbye. We'll see you next time.
I don't know what I just did. What was this?
I don't know.